Hello and welcome to Talking a Wall podcast where I talk about literally anything and everything with my little side dish of opinion. You can take a deep breath. This episode is kind of hard for me to record. I recorded an episode about a week and a half ago ish. Um, yeah, and I was like, at the time I was not in a great mindset, and I'm still really not. I'm gonna be honest here, and it was about like being selfish and like realizing how selfish of a person I kind of am and like thinking about that because like I never thought of myself as like a selfish person before. And so I was also very angry. I was pissed off, and it was like I spent that entire day bawling my eyes out, and it was just not it was not it at all. But I had recorded it with such a rawness that I really liked that kind of like rawness that I was able to get. I will not be uploading it because that's like, yeah, I won't be uploading it. Even as this like podcast, the meaning of the podcast is to be able to look back and like reflect as the years go on. I will not be uploading it because like it was just too much. But today, so what happened about a week and a half ago was like I had went and seen my great grandma in her nursing home, and after I had been like almost like gaslit into going and seeing her. That's the best way I can describe it without getting into too much details. And I went and saw her, and it was like easy, like oh my god, easily easiest no, easily the one of the most hardest things I've ever done. And it's like I have never sat in my car for 15 minutes bawling my eyes out before I've walked into a building. Like, I walked in, I had no idea where the fuck I was going, which is like okay, but like actually getting there took me a little bit. And then after I'd seen her, it was like okay, I'd like stayed there for about 15-20 minutes and I left. And it was like I sat in my car again. Like, I walked out and I was like already crying, and I had walked out of the room still still wiping my tears, and it just literally felt like everybody was staring at me. And I've never felt so self-conscious in my life. And it was like I feel like everybody was staring at me because I had tears like running down my cheeks. And when I cry, my face gets all like really puffy and my it gets really red. Really evident that I've been crying. And so I walked back to my car and I sat in my car and cried for like another 30 minutes. So like in total like roughly like an hour of crying just like right there. And then I had to drive to school. I did this before school, which was really stupid. And it was like I was still crying when I was driving, and it was like getting bad as I had like as I was driving, like I could barely see the road. Like I was just like I had tears. I like was so much, and I drive a stick, and so it was just so much more like effort into driving. And I've never felt so like careless and reckless about my driving. Like I'm low key surprised I didn't get hit or I didn't hit somebody because I didn't care. I was like, oh, like I'm just gonna drive, and I drove, and it was it was not it. And then I got to school, and I kept crying for like another 10 minutes. And then I finally walked into class like 45 minutes late. Um, so I have a really bad runny nose. Don't mind me. Um, but that was easily one of like the hardest days of like my life. Like low key, like I've never felt so selfish in my life, and like I don't like I didn't like seeing her because she's in a home, and like For context, she died today. So, like, oh my god. So it's like still kind of raw, but it's like I haven't processed that emotions yet. It's like I've decided to do everything I can not to process it. So, like, I've been watching YouTube videos all day while cooking. And I love cooking. So, like, when I'm cooking, it, like, the world goes, like, silent. And I'm not thinking. And so I spent the entire day cooking. And I mean, I went to work. But just, like, doing everything. I went to work. I went to this kitchen liquidation sale and I got some really cool things, which, like, I'm really happy about. And then when I came home, I woke my dad up because it was like 10 a.m. and he, like, took forever to get ready because we went to breakfast. And then he told me that she had died in the middle of the night. But, like, going back to my original point of feeling so selfish is that I hadn't seen her for years. And it's like I refused to see her on Christmas and Thanksgiving because there's, like, that's not how I wanted to, like, remember her, you know? Jesus Christ, this nose is, like, giving me issues. So it's like, I didn't want to remember her because she had a stroke and that's the reason why she went into the house, into the, like, old folks home, but I didn't want to have to remember somebody like that. And I've done this multiple times where I refuse to go see somebody because I don't remember them like that. Like, I don't want that to be, like, my last memory of them, you know? And so, like, after I had went, it was it was like I went through my, like, whole, like, almost, like, grieving process of it. Um it was like I had went and Kit Kats signify something, like, really important in my life, which I don't want to get into. Because, like, I'll do another, like, episode on, like, what symbols mean or, like, things mean to people and, like, the importance of little things. And it's like I did my whole Kit Kat thing and it was like I was ready for her to, like, pretty much die. Because, like, it was known that, like, she was not doing super great, you know? And so that was the thing, and I was like, okay. And then, like, a week later, like, I meant to see her on Friday and Sunday today. I meant to see her on Friday, but I didn't end up getting up early enough to go because I do it in the mornings. And then she died last night, so Saturday night at, like, 1:05 a.m. And it's like it kind of, like, blindsided me, but it also, like, I kind of knew it was happening. And, like, I felt I still feel really guilty because for a quick moment when my dad had said that, I felt very relieved. I was like, "Oh, like, I don't have to go and deal with that again, or, like, I don't have to go and see her again," you know? Like, I felt like that because I don't like seeing people like that. Like, it's not only just, like, not seeing people like that, it's like it's as much as I hate to admit it, I feel like it's a very selfish thing because it's like I me, I don't want to see her like that, but she wants to see me, or, like, somebody wants to see me. And so it just feels very terrible knowing that, like, that I hadn't, like, seen her for years, you know? And then, like, as soon as I go and see her, she's like, you know, I was gonna make a really morbid joke, but oh, I shouldn't have. I won't. I'll probably get, like, flagged on Spotify and be like, no. Um, but yeah, it's like just dealing with, like, the grievances really sucks. Like, I didn't, like, realize how badly it fucking sucks. It sucks to, like, she was, like, my best friend growing up. And it's like, and it, like, I understand, like, it's kind of stupid to be so, like, attached. Maybe that's just, like, me. That could just also be me, like, being stupid. But it's like I felt like almost like, gosh, I need to blow my nose. Um, but it's like I just feel, I don't know. I don't remember where I was going with that. Um, but it's like even now, like as I'm recording this, like trying to get my mind off of it, I have music playing, like in my AirPods as I'm recording the Switch. Like it's distracting me kind of. But it's like there hasn't been today where I've sat down and just taken a second. There hasn't been a time today where I haven't been looking at my phone or listening to something or like doing something. And like grieving, like I hate grieving. Like I hate having emotions sometimes because it's like I don't feel strong. Like for anybody who knows, like seeing their dad cry is like one of the hardest things in life. Like not one of the hardest things, just like seeing them cry, like that is like your dad. I'm not gonna say is supposed to be. Your dad in many people's lives is the strong figure. He's the boom, like oh my god, I like snot. He is like he's the wall around your kingdom is what he is. He's like that external strong. He's a protector. He's supposed to be strong. All these different things, and seeing that protector role break down is like it's not scary. It's just like whoa. And it's like feeling all these emotions because like seeing my dad cry, I was like okay, like I have to hold it together because I felt like that was my duty, kind of. And so I like I didn't cry. I mean I am now, but like it's I didn't want to cry because I felt guilty because I felt like my dad kind of needed somebody. And so breakfast was kind of hard. I just kind of kept talking. Um we were watching bull riding. We ended up going to a bar for breakfast cuz bars have some of the best food in my opinion. But it was we talked about bull riding. We were watching bull riding and baseball and then like talking about everything and just like I just kept trying to get him to talk. I kept trying to make him like get his mind off of it and it's like that's what I'm doing now. Like there's a reason why I'm recording an episode at 9 o'clock at night on a school night when I should be taking a shower and everything. But it's also like grieving, like feeling sad and being like crying, it makes me feel like super weak. Especially when like my dad or like your father figure in your life kind of like just crumbles. And it feels like you have to kind of like be be that temporary thing. Because it's like if they're breaking down, then pretty much everything else is breaking down, you know, like or everything else is going to break down. And so like now that I'm like sitting here and like talking about all this stuff and like how much it fucking sucks, it's like hitting me all at once and it's like I feel really stupid and I feel really like weak in just everything for like trying to process these emotions and crying and like all this stuff because I feel like an idiot. I feel stupid because it's like I know in my mind everybody's gonna die. Like no matter what, everybody's gonna fucking die and it's like oh fucking well, like we don't know what happens after and you can believe in whatever the fuck you want to believe, but it's like when it happens, nobody kind of like prepares you for it. So it's like it's one of those things that like kind of sucks, you know? And it's just fucking it just fucking sucks. And it's like knowing that like I have to go on with my life. The fact that I can't just stop and be like, "Oh shit, like I need a second or I need a week or I need a day, I need an hour, like whatever you need." Like you can't just have that happen. And that's what the part that sucks is that like I just have to continue on. And it's like that's the part that I feel really stupid about too, is like I haven't seen her in years. And there's a lot of times like, well, like like not low key, but like she won't be on my mind every day. You know? Like I won't like think about her for like a week or whatever. And it's like, oh, like, oh well, like I'm just doing my regular thing, but now that it's like now that she's like kind of dead, you know, like it's like what do I do now? Like how do I deal with that? And it's like I feel like I haven't processed a death in so long. Like I've processed like animal deaths, like not my dog who is currently like snoring. She's been in the house all day, literally doing nothing. I don't know how she's so tired, but um it's like I haven't had to process this in forever. And it's like when my so like this was my great grandmother died, and she was 92, and my grandma had died a few years back. I want to say 4 or 5 years now. And it's like then like I didn't feel so bad. Like I was still seeing her and everything. She had Parkinson's, which is a terrible, terrible disease. And it's like then I didn't like once again like seeing my dad crumble, like that just kind of like flipped a switch where I was like, okay, like I need to figure this out and like I need to like have everything be good. So it's like, oh my god. Um so it's just like another like one of those things. It's like I feel like I need to be this kind of like I feel like I need to be strong in this kind of situation. Or that like I need to just continue, but I can't. And it's like I'm mostly like angry at myself at this point. Like it's not even the fact that like she's like dead, but it's like it's the fact that like I can't control my emotions and what I'm feeling anymore. And it's like I know that like I'll go back to being like quote unquote normal in like a week or two, but it's like now it just fucking sucks. Cause it's like I can't be what I need to be and I can't do what I need to do because of this external thing. And I know it's kind of bad to say it in like such simple words and everything. But it's just how it is. Like I can't help that. And with this, I know that I'm gonna like I have a lot of the stuff she's given me over the years. Or a lot of stuff I got when she like moved out of her house. That like I'm gonna have to like go through. That's another thing, like when I process like big things like this, I get rid of a shit ton of shit. Which like I need to do anyways, because like I'm moving soon, but like it's it's so much. Like looking at my closet right now because I don't have like a closet door for some reason. Like just looking at them now, like there's at least like a dozen things that I can see that are from her or like are tied to her, you know. So it's just kind of sucky. It's not kind of sucky, it is sucky, and that's something I just have to like acknowledge. I have to acknowledge that like life's gonna fucking suck for a little bit. She's dead. I can't really help that. Like I mean, like I'm not gonna pull a Frankenstein, you know. And I have to live with the fact that like I didn't see her for years. I have to live with the fact that like I had that I after I went and saw her, she passed, you know? So like it really makes me wonder if like she was quote unquote like holding on for me, you know? Cuz like you know that thing that like it's like people won't die until they see that one person. And it makes me wonder if I was that one person. Yeah. So, um, I've got nothing more to really like talk about, and I am gonna be uploading this episode because I feel like it is obviously important to be real with myself and anybody who listens, and then to realize like, and for myself to realize that like, yeah, I'm gonna be low for a little bit, and it's like fucking sucks, and I have to deal with all this shit. Like, yeah, it sucks, and I have to deal with it, but it's like, yeah, it'll be better soon. How soon, I have no fucking idea. But eventually, the grief won't be too big anymore. Because right now, the grief is just a little bit big, a little bit too big, where I can't outrun it, you know? So maybe I need to get faster, or maybe I need to kind of just deal with it point blank. Which either or will happen, really. So, um, thank you for listening to this very messy podcast. Um, where it's just a rant and me like sobbing. So, yeah. Anyways, if you could do me a favor, rate it 5 stars, write a Q&A, write a question, comment, whatever. It really helps out. I've noticed that like, oh, I just hit the microphone. I've noticed that like there's been a few more comments on a few episodes lately, and it's really been boosting those views and that put out there the algorithm, you know. So, anyways, maybe I'll talk to you in a few days, and maybe a few weeks. I don't really know. And I have to be okay with that, and I have to be okay with the fact that like it's gonna be chaos, and I'm not gonna be that strong for a little bit, but we gotta go for it. Okay. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.